Today we are taking a look at the Asus ROG Strix 18-inch gaming laptop for 2023. This laptop comes with the 18-inch WQXGA QHD display with 240 Hz refresh rate, 500 nits of display brightness. It has a 16:10 aspect ratio, 2560 by 1600 resolution, and it comes with 100% DCI P3 coverage for cinema quality colors. It also comes with an i9-13980HX processor. It boasts a 65-watt TDP with hybrid architecture built from the ground up for Windows 11. 8 performance core, which is 16 threads, and 16 efficiency cores. Comes with an Nvidia RTX 4090, 16 gigabytes of GDDR6, and that boosts up to 175 watts, 150 watts plus 25 watts of dynamic boost 2.0, and it has a turbo clock speed up to 2090 megahertz, 32 gigabytes of RAM, that's DDR5, 4800 megahertz system memory, and it also comes with 2 terabyte solid state drive, PCIe Gen 4, and it's 1 terabyte by 2 RAID 0. And then it comes with that ROG Intelligent Cooling. The laptop itself is made primarily all out of plastic, but I can tell you it's fairly durable. Let's take a closer look. All right, we're going to check out the top of the lid here on the laptop, see if there's any flecks. Very little around the edges. Towards the middle you get a little bit more. Logo lights up, as you saw before, and there are some Aura lights in the back around the exhaust. Let's go ahead and lift up the lid with one finger. Easily done. There is a little bit of a ledge here. I'll scoot it down so you can see it. A little bit of a lip here that stands out, so you can catch it pretty easily with your fingernail or a finger. The keyboard itself is okay. It's not one of my favorites. It has good travel, but it feels a little slushy to me. I like the fact that it has a numpad, and also the keyboard deck. It's a clear plastic, so you can kind of see through it and see some internals there, which is kind of cool. It is a per-key RGB backlighting on the keyboard, and then you have some quick keys up here that controls the volume, fan, you can mute your mic, and so forth. The trackpad is pretty decent, very nice and smooth, good size, I think. All right, let's go ahead and weigh this thing. Okay, let's go ahead and weigh it. We're gonna weigh the laptop alone here real quick. Not sure if you can see that or not, but we come out to 6 pounds, 12.6 ounces. Cables and power brick, which are, power brick's pretty sizable there. 8 pounds, 9.6 ounces. All right. Real quick, I grabbed my razor blade 18-inch, and I kind of wanted to compare the size of it. That's the razor. There is a lip, so if I reverse it, the Asus is a little bit bigger because of the exhaust in the back. Not sure if you can see that or not. So obviously it's going to be heavier than the razor blade. All right, let's take a look at the internals. We got the bottom plate off fairly easily, actually. Note to self, the screws in the front of the laptop are shorter than the screws on the sides, in the back, and there's one right here in the middle. So just be aware that if you try to screw one of these longer ones up front, you'll end up having some real issues. All right, got some rubber feet here on the bottom. Keep this laptop off the desk while playing AAA games. Good airflow. All right. First thing we see here is a skinny 90-watt battery here. That's interesting. And then the downward facing speakers. We got 3 fans, some individual and dedicated heat pipes to keep the airflow going out the sides, and this monster exhaust out the back. And then we have the one SSD here. This is 1 terabyte, and then another one over here that is also 1 terabyte. The Wi-Fi card here is swappable. It's underneath this particular SSD, and then we have the memory here. I'm just gonna slowly lift that up. I should unhook the battery, but oh well. There you go. All right. Let's see if I can put this guy back in. No problem. All right. I don't think there's anything else to really look at. I think it's pretty much covers it. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and put this back on this bottom plate, and then we'll turn it on and check out some benchmarking. We went ahead and launched the Asus Armory Crate here, and in here you can check out different stats around CPU, memory, GPU. You can also tweak the performance of the laptop, going from Windows silent performance to turbo, and then you can also click from standard GPU to ultimate GPU, which this thing has a muck switch, or go to optimized here as well, but it requires the laptop to restart, to reboot. So quite a bit of different features within the Armory Crate that you can check out. Did some benchmarking using Cinebench R23. We got a CPU multi-core score of 29,057 and a CPU single core score of 2,042. So 2,042 multi-core right there, 29,057. In 3D Mark, our times by graphics score was 21,352, our CPU core score was 16,418, and our overall score was 20,430. Compared online, our score was below the average. 3D Mark, Firestrike score, we got a graphics score of 41,949, physics score of 40,197, and a combined score of 11,386. And an online score of 32,902, which is below average here compared to other laptops online. So this is the camera on this particular laptop. I think it's probably the most disappointing out of all the features this laptop comes with. It's 720p camera. It does not have facial recognition. It does not have a fingerprint scanner. It's password access only. Here is the keyboard. Yeah, it's not that great, but it is a gaming laptop. But I just think it's 2023. A lot of the gaming laptops that are coming out this year have 1080p cameras, so Asus just needs to step it up a bit. We ran a number of in-game benchmarking tools, with the tools being on high settings, and the laptop switched over to the dedicated graphics card, and we used Shadow of the Tomb Raider, Cyberpunk 2077, Call of Duty, and then we played a little bit of Hogwarts Legacy. Shadow of the Tomb Raider, we were getting on average 173 FPS, and then for Cyberpunk 2077 we were getting 89.09 FPS on average. Call of Duty 2.0, we were getting 168 FPS on average. And then Hogwarts Legacy, we were getting around 60 FPS on average. But I have a sneaky suspicion that that game was set to 60 FPS limited, and not to where the settings were on unlimited, to where we could have probably gotten quite a bit higher. Anyway. So that's it for the Asus ROG Strix 18 gaming laptop. This laptop I thought had a really great build. It's primarily a plastic chassis, but it's very sturdy and very little flex. We opened it up and we saw that there's lots of opportunity for upgrading this thing. It'll last you a long time. Good amount of Aura lights. No one will mistake this laptop for anything other than a gamer. Great specs, and the performance was as expected based on those specs. This laptop we got for about $35.50 at the Best Buy website. I think that's kind of the price point that you're going to be looking at for these type of specs going forward. And then after that, the trackpad was good. I like the fact that the keyboard had a numpad. Lots of venting to keep this laptop cool while playing games. Lots of screen real estate. It's an 18-inch, obviously, and the screen was bright and colorful, 500 nits of brightness, so that was great. It was color accurate, and the screen itself was very responsive, and it had a good amount of ports, in my opinion. A couple downsides, though. It came with a 720p camera. I think if you are even a gamer, if you have a laptop that you're buying a 2023, I really think that it should have a 1080p camera at least. 720p is so last year, or the year before that, or even the year before that. So that kind of gets an X for me. Keyboard was a little slushy, but it worked okay. Another thing that I didn't like, no facial recognition or fingerprint reader for easy access. It was all just password access, which I think is kind of silly. The speakers were okay. They're not the best. They were a little tinny at the top and very little bass, but they were loud, very loud. So you got that. During gameplay and under heavy load, while sitting on the dedicated graphics, the fan noise got to about 58 to 64 decibels, which is pretty loud. The temps at the bottom of the screen and top of the keyboard got around 48 to 52 Celsius, but the WASD keys were about 38 to 42 Celsius, not too bad. And the palm rest got to about 28 degrees Celsius, so pretty decent. I really like this laptop. I'm going to do a little bit more with it and maybe post some more videos going forward to include this laptop, so look out for those. If you like this video, go ahead and hit the like button. If you want to see more videos like this from Tech by Pike, hit the subscribe button. We appreciate it. Helps the channel. Not only that, it gives us an opportunity to bring more videos like this to you, and for that we appreciate it. We'll see you in the next one.